Hi, I'm Norman Seabrook, President of the New York City Correction Officers Benevolent Association, and I'm happy to address you once again. You know, the first time we did the YouTube video, all of you took a look at it, and a lot of you agree with what I'm saying. So that brings us to our second YouTube video. This video that I want to talk about a little bit is about unity, strength, and solidarity. Union, leadership. The things that we're about to talk about may shock you. Some of you may have forgotten about it. Some of you may not even remember about it. Do you know that when you become a New York City Correction Officer, you have to do 20 years of city service before you can retire? Unlike the police department and the fire department that has to do 22 years before they retire. Did you know that before you, some of you, not all of you, became a New York City Correction Officer, there was no three-quarter bill, there was no heart bill, there was no variable supplement bill, there was no feces bill, and there wasn't one of the most significant pieces of legislation in the city of New York, the anti-privatization bill. The anti-privatization bill prevents the city of New York from privatizing your job, from taking your job, laying you off, and hiring a square badge. I have nothing against security officers, but they're not correction officers. They're not professional correction officers. You know, the union, members of the executive board and I work tirelessly, 24 hours a day, it seems like 8 days a week, to make sure that you and your family and your rights are taken care of, that you and your family and your rights are protected. The members of the executive board that are assigned to different facilities throughout the Department of Correction constantly are out there trying to make sure that your rights are protected. Let me talk a little bit about your rights in all the positions that you work in. Whether you work for the chief of the department, whether you work in a housing area, all of you are correction officers. Some people have criticized me and said, well, Norman has a Widows and Children's Fund and he's only raised $500,000. But that's $500,000 that we've raised, that we have given to each and every family. Every Christmas we've given them money. Every Thanksgiving we give them money. Every holiday we receive them and try to make the best for them. Those are the things that unions do. Unions do things that are important to everyone. Unions do things that some people can't do in this city. It's easy for someone to say, I could walk in his shoes. You possibly could. But the men and women of this organization continue to work diligently for you and your family. They talk about they want to have meetings. I'll have a meeting. We have meetings every month for that matter. And each and every one of you have the right to raise whatever issues that you have at these meetings. Don't be one of those individuals that constantly feel that after you've been fired and after you have been dismissed and after you have been retired that you have so much to say. Some of you don't say anything. And that's the silent majority, and I respect you for that, and I love you for that. But sometimes it's time for you to tell the others to stop it. Stop the nonsense. Allow us to go on and move forward. There are contract negotiations coming up. There are legislation things coming up in the city of New York. They want to take our health care. They want to take our pensions. They want to do all of these different things to us, and it takes experience to be able to do these things. Now, I'm not saying I'm the smartest guy in the world, but surely with members of this executive board, we do a pretty good job of making sure that your rights are protected. We do a pretty good job of making sure that all of your things that you have already accomplished under our leadership are protected. We're not giving them away. We're not selling them to anybody. What we're doing is making sure that our future and our voices are heard. We have the transportation division that just a week ago was involved in a serious bus accident. We didn't have any escapes. We didn't have any tragedies. We did what we were supposed to do. The emergency services unit showed up. The state police showed up. Everyone showed up to fight and make sure that everything was under control. We don't have riots. We don't have escapes because we're professional law enforcement officers. But you'll have a group of people that want to destroy everything that we've built. Everything that you've built, not me, because me is you. You am I. And this is what we do together. This is how we build together. Unity, strength, and solidarity. And sometimes you have to step up to the plate and tell others that are trying to mislead you that you're not willing to accept that anymore. You're not willing to accept those comments anymore. You're not willing to destroy each other anymore. And that's why we fight constantly on the battlefield for municipal workers throughout the city. We are the middle class, you and I. We work diligently to make sure that our rights are protected. We work diligently to make sure that our mortgage is paid. We work diligently to make sure that we work alongside someone who has our back and has our best interest at hand. But there are going to be those that come to you and say, we got to get them out of there. We got to do this. We got to do that. Wait a minute, let me get this straight. You're telling me that someone that has been fired, someone that has been retired, someone that has been disgruntled, someone who has no agenda, someone who wants to come in and make everything look like they can do, they probably can do. But I think the members of this executive board and I have proven to you what we can do. We've proven it over and over and over again. Remember the 300 plus officers that got laid off? And they called on the phone and they said, Norm, you're gonna let them lay us off? I said to them, you'll be back. They didn't lose any benefits. Not only did they not lose any benefits, they got all their back money. They got all of their status as far as seniority is concerned. They kept prescription drugs, life insurance, and everything else. And guess what? I didn't blink first. And the mayor of the city of New York brought them back. Do you remember when we had the major problem with CPSU? And we talked about at city council that we needed to put these inmates in punitive segregation where they belong? Guess what? The Department of Corrections started a whole new pilot project with a deputy warden in charge of that area, making sure that the inmates that assault correction officers are dealt with swiftly and effectively. Now, I'm not telling you that you don't have the right to choose who you want to be your leader. I'm not telling you that you don't have the right to choose who you feel that you want to socialize with. I'm not asking you to socialize with me. That's your prerogative on whether you want to or whether you don't. The bottom line, the question is, what's in your wallet? What did we put in your wallet? What do we keep putting in your wallet? What do we keep adding to the agenda of correction officers between home loans, mortgages, financial disclosure? We do every single thing you could possibly imagine, yet a few want to try to destroy. Well, you see, God is good to me. I'm not going to let you destroy anything that this membership has built. I'm not going to let you destroy anything that we have done together, collectively, to make this work. I'm not going to let you come in and just destroy everything that we've built. Don't you think the city of New York is ready for that? Don't you think the city of New York is sitting back right now saying to themselves, boy, oh, I can only imagine how I could get correction. Well, guess what? Mayor, governor, members, correction is not for sale. I'm Norman Seabrook. Thank you.